Your latest Orange County and LA housing update.
Now with foreclosure data.
Perfect. Thank you, Gigi. Go ahead. Go get ready for bed. Hey there, Christian Walsh, Coldwell Banker Wire Associates. We specialize in helping tenants and landlords, buyers and sellers like you in California, and we're here with a huge update. We've got Orange County housing numbers, LA housing numbers. They're at records, I'll let you know that. And we have foreclosure data that's at records. And it absolutely blew my mind. You'll see in this video, I was actually completely perplexed by what I found with the foreclosure data. So let's discuss how we got through August. It is quite a tale. So the first quarter of 2020 was amazing. We were off to a record start for housing prices and sales in most of California. And then we had a little thing called COVID-19 that hit. March went down, April, worst April ever, let's not even talk about it. Got into May got a little better. Then June, I'm looking at the numbers, every 2 weeks I'm running them and doing these. And I see things going like this. And July, same thing. So pending sales caught us up and median price was going up. So here's a chart that shows the price, and it goes all the way back to before the bust. You can see the dip into the bust, and then you can see the turn in 2012 where the median home price started to go up and it peaked. Here we are. We are here today. LA is at 719, which is a jump from 705, and Orange County, unbelievably, last month hit a price record of 765 for houses, condos, townhomes. And by the end of August, they were at 800,000, absolute new price record. And you'll see on this chart that there's a wave. It goes up and down through the year. That's very typical for the median home price. So it typically peaks around June-ish. Into the summer, there's a peak, and then it goes back down as you get to the holidays, and then it keeps doing that over and over. What's interesting about 2020, and for obvious reasons, that peak was pushed. So we are actually still peaking into August, and we should be heading the other way, but we're still going up. So the entire sales cycle has been pushed this year. We're very curious. We're going to keep tracking. We're going to let you know what happens in the next 2 weeks as we do another video to see if we're going to continue to push this way. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you are ready to dive into the data. Here we go. And here we are to dive into the numbers yet again. Let me get out of the way. So here we have Orange County, and I added some color. I thought this would make it a little easier, and this is Orange County, so I used orange. I thought that was appropriate. And you can see that we are still year over year. We are absolutely at a record for escrows. Sales are still up. New listings, pretty flat. Little bit more inventory, but you can see 2018, 2016 around the same. Definitely a drop in new listings since July. And that has continued to cause the multiple offers, the bidding wars, all the challenges for buyers right now. And challenges for buyers are opportunities for sellers. So you can see why with numbers like these, that Orange County right now is a great place to be a seller. And here we are with Los Angeles County, and you can see still a strong market year over year, but not quite like Orange County. So you can see the numbers going back in August of the past few years. They're not that different. In fact, sales are actually low, which you'd expect with the increases we've seen in sales, you'd expect those to be higher, but that's where they are. A little bit lower, in fact, than July. Escrows are up, still a record there, but not a dramatic, not the 25 to 30% we've been seeing in Orange County. And then listings, you can see listings are down from July, but not completely out of whack from a normal August in Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is a different story. Still a strong market, still a lot of sales, multiple offers, but not quite as hot as Orange County. And here we are for Orange County multifamily in August, and it is, as I've said, a tale of two markets when you look at multifamily and single family, but it is getting better in Orange County, I have to say. So you can see here that this month the escrows had a jump, and we're finally, for the first month since the bust, since April, we actually have a year-over-year increase in escrows that's significant enough to show there is an increase. In the past few months, there wasn't. And listings are up, kind of not too far out of line of a normal past couple of years amount of listings. If we saw a lot more, if we saw 125 or something higher, then that would be a market to watch out for. But it does look like the multifamily market is somewhat stabilizing in Orange County. And what's interesting is you wouldn't expect that, because the bills that were just passed, AB 3088, means that folks who aren't paying rent due to COVID-19 can stay put, with a few caveats, but those folks can stay put until the end of January. So it's interesting to see multifamily trading at these rates. And new and improved for this month, as we promised, we are now starting to include foreclosure data, because it does look like we, at some point in time, may have a wave of foreclosure starting. So we want to get ahead of that, and we're going to start tracking the data now and sharing it. But I ran numbers, and you know what? I'm actually a little perplexed by what I'm seeing, and I'm going to show you why. So this is for Orange County. We also have LA. We'll show that in a minute. And what we have is the first half of the respective years. We've got the notices of default and the notice of trustee sale when they were filed in the first half of the year. So the yellow above me, that is the first half of 2020. Now you can see any given year there are going to be foreclosures. There's never a year where it's zero notices of default, notices of trustee sale. So you can see there's kind of a baseline, like in 2019, 2018, 100, 115, 59, etc. So I went back to the bust, and I quite honestly, I need to talk to my title rep, because I pulled this data with his help. I feel like these numbers are too low, because this was the bust. Like, this was the peak of bad times for real estate. And these are the numbers that we have right up here. But look at here. Now, bear in mind, this is during a time of forbearance. This is during a pandemic. So you think that lenders would have slowed down. The other thing that I'm even more perplexed on, as we discussed in our other video, notice a default goes out at minimum 120 days after a payment's missed, and then notice a trustee sale is 90 days later, and then the sale itself can be 21 days later. A lot of times that's pushed, but that's the schedule as of right now. So really what this means here, these extreme numbers, these things would have had to have happened before the pandemic in order to be filing notices of default and notices of trustee sale. And maybe into March or April, but even then, 120 days plus 90 days doesn't add up. So like I said, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm perplexed, but I'm a little perplexed. And here's LA, and you can see, I mean, these are huge numbers. Going back to 2009, those are big numbers there too, but we've eclipsed it. So the notice of trustee sale, we're there and above, and the notice of default, we have 3 times and a little bit as much. And you can see, and the interesting thing in LA, something was going on in 2018 and 2019. There was a big tick up in notices of default and notices of trustee sale. And then the first half of 2020, there's a landslide. And I know, again, a lot of people were able to get a forbearance. So anybody doing a forbearance, they haven't had a notice of default or notice of trustee sale filed. So long story short, I'm going to keep tracking this to see how this shakes out. I'm going to reach out to my title rep to make sure there isn't an error in data. But this doesn't look good. Quite frankly, is the way to sum it up. We've got a lot of pre-foreclosures, is what these are called, because they haven't been foreclosed on. But we have a lot of pre-foreclosures even before we're getting into the fallout from the pandemic. So anyway, definitely come back here and tune in to get this data. And this month, our email newsletter subscribers will exclusively get the data for July, which is the most recent. So you can see exactly how July stacked up and then previous July. So make sure you subscribe to our weekly email newsletter. There's a link below so you can do that, and then you can see exactly what happened in July. So those are our foreclosure numbers. So what do you think? Where do you think the market's headed? Why don't you tell me in the comments below? I'd love to know what you think about the foreclosure data. Those are some crazy, crazy numbers. So thank you for tuning in. We have a few things we want to share with you. One is, if you want to actually track the foreclosure properties coming onto the market, we have a link below to our website that will allow you to sign up for automatic reports for LA and Orange County. So make sure you click that link. Of course, we have our weekly email newsletter. And what's super cool this week is we're including the July foreclosure numbers exclusively for our email subscribers. They weren't in this video, but you'll get those July numbers and you'll be able to track and see where we're headed a little bit closer than what I shared before. We really want to thank you for tuning in. We want to encourage you to subscribe. I've got a lot more data to bring to you. We got to track these foreclosures. Also, we'll keep you updated on eviction laws for tenants and landlords. We're going to keep you in the loop on everything California related. So make sure you subscribe to our channel today. This has been Christian Walsh. Thanks again. You ready?
Yeah.
Your latest Orange County and Los Angeles update with
Gigi.
You're supposed to say now with foreclosure data.